As the wind erodes and the water corrodes, altering everything we think we know, but we don't. It's all temporary, and it used to, but now the thought doesn't scare me or keep my feet from following one after another until I slumber. Then my mind, not my feet, wander and dream of people and places I'll never see again. I've mended as much mental anguish as I can, and now I try to use this language to take these thoughts from my head to my pen. Cause though I don't speak of my dead friends or the circumstances, often the blow never softens or yields. I'm in a desolate field, lonesome stargazing, night blazing, chasing traces of remembrance and reverence of relevant friends and acquaintances, and faceless and nameless names and faces. And while my mind is racing through these photo albums and quotations, all these people and places far from me, for only land and stars I see when I'm outside of the Mile High City, which is not my city, for I was born 1,000 miles northeast of there in the land of beer and lakes and pistol fire on MLK's birthday, where there is no minorities and segregation's mandatory. But that's a whole nother story altogether, and no matter the weather or hardships that any place brings, I'll still laugh when people shiver and say it's freezing, or say, hey, no, wait, I already had 18 mixed drinks, but I guess it's a Midwest thing, and I'm a mess from a dirty city and brought most of this filth I've gathered with me.
Welcome to another week of Experience and Weins live back here in the studio in Butler, Wisconsin. And today we're going to be talking about the difference between the word support versus the word help. As we know, there are shit words in this world, and when you change one word, you change the narrative. Coming up after the verse.
My work labors on as lovers sleep in each other's arms, remaining calm and collect. I begin my self-reflection process of redemption. Honestly, I don't know where this road leads, or if I'm even going. Could be rowing upstream, or worse, chasing my dreams to the peak, to finally be somebody doing something with what I have, rather than saying again and again that I can't and I won't anymore from this day forward. Cause Lord knows the past is set in stone, the present is yours to mold and to use for future uses. I know I'm a nuisance, I'm told, cause I'm neither young nor giant nor gnome. I don't sleep on these streets usually, though I've made thrones of my own. I don't sit well with idle hands, though don't know what to do when I'm home all alone. I'm a menace thrown from society, and as it lies to me, I'll smile silently as others do as they please. I am watching and listening, and I'm grinning all the while, cause sometimes all you can really do is smile. So as the work labors on, I'll keep on singing my songs, and this day's never done. We just keep on spinning around that sun, and well, through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.
Here we are, another episode 34 of Experience Andy Weins Live, the opportunity we have every week to come together and talk about how do we impact our lives with the use of language. So this week, as always, we're going to start off with a moment of gratitude. I'm very thankful this week that last week I was able to go to Vegas and speak at the National Waste and Recycling Conference, Waste Expo, and a couple of people that made that happen. They've been supporting me on my journey for a couple of years. So Flo and Mallory with Waste Expo reaching out to me 6 months ago and asking me to come and speak, and they changed up the formatting this year and did they called more of a TEDx style talk versus straight informational seminar kind of session. So they gave me that opportunity. I also want to thank John Sacco with Sierra International He's a mentor of mine. He has a series, if you're into recycling, called Repurposed on YouTube. It's phenomenal. I've learned a lot about the industry from him. I look at him as a leader and an advocate in the industry. He came on my podcast maybe a year ago, the Trash Talk Business Podcast, and I've looked up to him, and I'm excited to learn from him. And moreover, he took time out of his day to come see me speak and really supported me and throw up a post on LinkedIn, gave me a little additional exposure. So I appreciate all the people that are supporting me on my journey. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. First, we'll take care of business here. Words fucking matter. I wrote a book, and now I'm on the road talking about the book. Last week, I did The Language of Leadership, how to empower those that report to you through the words you use. And that's what my career is going to be. That's what I want to do. In addition to what I do in the waste and recycling world, is I want to go out in the world and change the world one word at a time and empower people through the use of language, because we know words govern thoughts govern actions, actions will reap your destiny. Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about that and how important those thoughts are when it comes to your overall destiny. All right. So speaking of words, support versus help. So a little bit ago, Taylor, the producer of the podcast, came to me and he said, "Hey, what do you want to talk about today?" And per usual, there wasn't anything really pressing. There wasn't like, there's the one thing, And he said, "What about any other shit words that never made the book?" And so there was one set of words, or the word help, and why asking for help has a negative connotation. And we even had visuals for it and everything, and never made the final copy of the book. And so this is how I interpret the words help versus support. Years ago, I did a TEDx, about 5 years ago, 2016. Or 2019 rather. I did a TEDx on the transformation from troops in boots to veterans in the civilian world, getting out of the hole. And I talk about this. The analogy is when you're a soldier and you come back home, and really anybody, I use the analogy of a soldier coming back home, you're stuck in this hole. And I looked at help, right? The visual is you're here's the hole, you're stuck down in it. And help are, people that are throwing money in the hole, people that are turning and taking a selfie and say, "Hey, I helped a veteran," right? People that are, waving signs and flags and saying, "Hey, we support you. We, thank you for your service," right? And they're helping, right? "Hey, I'm helping," right? Well, it's like the person's still in the hole versus support. Support, ultimately, when I do the analogy of a veteran stuck in a hole, and it's from a famous unknown author, or a famous saying or poem, I should say, in the military we use with an unknown origin, about a soldier will join his fellow soldier in the hole because they've been there before. And that's what I look like support is, right? Support is joining people where they're at. Support is getting in the hole with the other person. Support is, how do we build ourselves up, right? How do we build processes, procedures, people around us to get us out of this hole, right? Whether we're working on ourselves or we're going to work on the hole being a place we're stuck. What do we need to do so that we can both get out of the hole together? And who else needs to join us in the hole so we can all raise ourselves up out of the hole? And that's the way I look at support. When you listen to politicians, right, they never ask for your help, right? They know where they're going. It's going to probably be a lie and never met. And yet they'll say, "I got it all figured out. My 999 plan, or my Build Back Better, or my Make America Great," right? I'm going to take shots at all politicians here, so you can't get, it's an apolitical organization. I'm a libertarian, so it gives me the right to argue with everybody, including libertarians. When they get out there on their pulpit, they're not asking for your help. They don't need your help. They want your support. They're coming from a position of power. They're coming from a position of knowing. They're coming from a position with a very clear vision, and they want your support getting there. And that's also what happens with people, right? When people reach out and say, "Hey, I want your help." Well, what do you want my help with, right? Do you want to help at the current state you're in, or do you want support getting to a future end state? When we focus on the help of the current state, often we're dealing with what was the past, right? What happened in the past, or where you are in the present. When we talk about support, it's where are you going to be in the future, and what does that look like? So when I hear people say, "Well, I was, the classic, I was just trying to help." Okay, well, what was their problem and what was their ideal outcome? Often we want to help the problem. Let's solve the problem versus saying, "Okay, hold on. What is our ideal outcome? Where do we want to get? What does right look like? What does the ideal situation look like?" Okay, now we can meet you where you're at. Right? We know where you want to go. Now let's ask some questions to understand, where are you at? What support do you need to get there? I'm not doing it for you, right? This is a teach a man to fish kind of mentality, right? What support do you need from me? And now, like Jordan Peterson talks about at length, is the smaller you make the target, the more likely you are to hit it. Because when you have a clear idea of what support looks like, then someone can deliver said support. You could be going through a tough time, a loss of a family member, a breakup, maybe termination from a job, right? You can say, sit there and, I want to help them. It's like, well, they're venting, they're complaining, they're talking about all the things that are uncontrollable. Say, well, what's your ideal end state? Do you want to vent? Okay, I will sit here and I will support you. I will listen to you. I'm not going to offer any solutions. I will sit here and I will support you in your time of need. No matter what you say, I will support you as a person. I'm here for you. I'm not going to help you with anything. I'm going to be here to support you. And then when someone says, okay, now I'm ready to move forward. Okay, what does that look like? What support do you need? What does your ideal end state look like? And then the other person can clearly say, okay, what support do you need? Oh, you need someone to go with you to the funeral home and pick out the casket? Okay, I will support you. Let's go do that together. I'll drive. Let's get lunch afterwards, right? Let me support you. The biggest key here is the person, the subject, the person you want to support. They get to decide what the end state is, right? They control the what. As a support person, your opportunity is to involve yourself with the how. What end state do you want to achieve, and how do we do this together? In business, we use this in our company. I use this often, right? I get to decide at the end of the day, as a business owner, as the visionary, what direction we're going, what projects we're going to take on, what the ideal situation looks like. I get to decide the what. And then I get to empower, delegate, and elevate the employees of our organization and task them with the how. I delegate the result. Hey guys, we got a 10 trailer job. We do junk removal here at Camo Crew, right? We have a 10 trailer job. This is what it looks like. This is what needs to happen. How are you going to make it happen? Okay, I'm going to bring this truck. I'm going to bring this trailer. I'm going to go to this donation center. I'm going to go to this recycling facility. We need from this time to this time because it's going to take that many hours. Okay, what are the resources do you need from me? Oh, we need more employees. We need better trucks, right? Okay. And now we're having a conversation. The what hasn't changed. We're going to do a 10 trailer job. They have the buy-in now because they're part of the how. Versus, hey, I need you to help me with this. Hey, give me a hand helping me, right? Well, they're giving you a hand, and yet they don't know what the end state is. They don't know why they're doing it. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not going to be able to identify your blind spots because you haven't shown them or told them what the end state is. In the military, we call it commander's intent. Officers, commanders, they give you the what. This is the commander's intent. This is the expectation we are setting forward. And here's the op order, an operations order. This is what needs to happen. Now we need the non-commissioned officers to come up with a plan of how it gets achieved. And we need the junior enlisted soldiers to achieve it. And now at all three levels, the officer level, the non-commissioned officers, and the junior enlisted soldiers all have some level of buy-in. Now, one person, the commander, got to decide the what, and he's asking for support from the ranks, from the troops within. I've gone through lots of trying times in my life. One of the more recent ones is I let go of senior leadership, our member of our leadership team back in December. And at the time, I didn't need help. I had a very clear idea of what we needed to do. I needed support from the guys around me to pick up some pieces. Hey, this is exactly what I need. We brought in a new HR company, and I made it very clear. This is what I need. Right. And even this weekend, I got talking to him. I said, these are the employees we need. This is the ultimate, right? This is what I'm willing to pay. This is the title. This is the responsibilities, roles. This is what I need. And he goes, do you have any suggestions on how to get them? I said, no, that's your job. He goes, right. I've empowered him to do that. And back in December, when I told him this is exactly what our organization needs based off the data, he figured it out. As a leader, this gives you the opportunity to delegate the end state, the results, to somebody else and let your people amaze you, wow them, give them a very clear idea of what you need support on and let them give the support. It's the idea of, put yourself in a room with really smart people, right? You tell them what needs to get done and they'll tell you how to do it. And along the way, they'll give you new information and point out your blind spots and then allow you to make another decision as to what gets done. The challenge with a lot of relationships, business, a lot of this is business here, business and also personal, is other people feel the need or desire or want or controlling nature, whatever, to control other people's what. Hey, this is what I think you need to change about yourself. Right? Well, what if they don't want to? You can't convince someone to quit smoking or, lose weight or, quit drinking when they don't want to. When they make that decision, then you can support them 100%. Hey, you want to quit drinking? Sounds good. Let's go out this weekend and not go and go to events that involve alcohol. I remember last summer I went to Irish Fest with my brother and one of my other brothers' good friends, and both of them are working on their sobriety. And as we get to Irish Fest, right, the joke my brother made was, three sober guys walked into Irish Fest. It's like, yeah, we did. We went to Irish Fest and we danced and we had a great time, and none of us drank in a place that was predominantly full of drinking because we supported each other. I didn't tell either one of them that needed to work on their sobriety. They both came to that conclusion themselves. They didn't tell me I needed to work on my sobriety. I made that conclusion myself. And how we did that together, we walked in with our eyes wide open. We walked in saying, hey, we're going to enjoy this and we're going to lean on each other because you know what? We can all go to a concert and have a good time without drinking because we can control our own what in this world. And then we get support from others. So my challenge to you this week is very simple. Look at places where you want to be helping, you think you're helping, and ask yourself, what is their end state? And when you've come up with that, then go ask them, what is their end state? And see if you're on track. One of the things I talk about in my book is to listen intentionally. We have a whole chapter on following. This is a great opportunity for you to be a great follower. You may have a very clear and concise answer to their problem, and yet they're not there yet. So this is an opportunity to ask questions. What is your ideal end state? What does right look like? What is wrong right now? And also ask, how can I support you get there? Let them come up with it. And when they give you an answer, execute exactly what they ask you to do when you're willing. When you're not willing, now at least you have a very clear idea. Okay, that's something I'm not willing to do or I'm not able to do. And then also look at yourself. How many times are you frustrated by stuff and you throw your hands up and say, I just want help with this? Well, what is this? What is your ideal end state? Who can support you getting there? What target do you have to make so simple and so small that somebody can hit it? I came up with a new tagline recently that I want to change the world one word at a time. And this last week when I spoke at Waste Expo, I know I had that impact on people because I've got several great messages from people since then saying, yeah, right before this, I checked a message. The guy said, yeah, I'm going to eliminate the word busy, sorry, and if, because those are three of the 12 or 13 shit words, I had up on the screen, and we talked a little bit about them. This sounds maybe to the average person like a minor change, and it is. It's a very simple change in your life when you look for and you seek out support and you look to support others in their goals, their dreams, their endeavors, right? Those SMART goals, singular, measurable, attainable, relevant, time bound. And yet that one word change can change the trajectory of where they're going. It can change the way you see the world. And yes, I recognize that is uncomfortable. It is a little janky. It is weird as you finger through life and figure out life, changing one little word at a time. I do it all the time. Yesterday, I read the book, the EOS Life. There's another book called What the Hell is EOS? I didn't read that one. I read the EOS Life. And the last line, 140 pages later, the last line of the book said, let your freak flag fly. I know I'm particular when it comes to words. I know it is janky. I know it is uncomfortable. And I also know that P.T. Barnum said, comfort is the enemy of progress. My goal is to progress one day at a time. In order to do that, I need to change one word at a time. When I change one word among the 70,000 words I use in my head each day with my thoughts, I can change the trajectory of my life. I believe in the power of that. And my challenge to you is to do the same. Change one word today that will change your trajectory of life. 1 degree over time will change where you're going to go. And as you're going out there in this world, do the 3 things that I ask you to do every single week. Do the fucking thing. Tell the fucking world. Show the fuck up. and we'll see you next week.
Through all these miles and trials, all I've learned to do is smile. Is to smile.